Greetings, humans. And I'm Josh, and welcome back to the Windmill for Horses.
No.
Oh,
No.
I feel so evil. Okay, so if you checked out our wrap-up for 2021, where we did like our top albums and everything, you will see that I have chose Grot Eternel by First Fragment on number 2. And this song is the reason why. And I think we only had one person actually suggest it a long while back, but after I actually heard the album, I knew I had to sit this guy through it. Because Tech Death, and this is Tech Death, by the way. I forgot my legendary intro. Tech Death! Tech Death is a lot more my thing than his thing. And I absolutely love this song, but I have suspicions that he might not love it just as much. And I just want to see him absolutely shattered. And to anyone out there who hasn't heard this, you will be absolutely shattered as well, because it is, in fact, 19 minutes long. So.
No.
The reason why it's called First Fragment is because we shall be fragmented.
No.
So are you ready?
No.
Yo. Is that CD gonna be spinning there all the time? Yes. It's what CDs do. What is the name of things that can't be mentioned? when they started out, they were actually civilized. And I really liked that intro. It was it felt like a sunset, I would say. With the melodies that came in, and with the acoustic guitars under Forrest's bass solo, like, the bass solo was really, 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 really good. I really really long too, yeah. And because this is such a long one, it's taking time to evolve, and you don't have like a solo every 0.7 seconds.
We're getting there.
So all the ideas have time to develop, and it was such a cool evolution there. And I kind of like the flamenco part that came afterwards because it was so ridiculous. It sounded like the Flight of the Bumblebee was playing the Flight of the Bumblebee. And that's good. And I'm scared. But I like this so far. They haven't brought in any vocals. They just had like a few of these screams. Kind of teasing at it.
I'm seeing we're at 5:15, and if I remember correctly, it's between the 5 and 6 minute mark that the actual lyrics kick off.
Mm-hmm.
So it's I think it's split in 6 movements or something like that, and I think what we heard were the first 2. So the way I called them when I first heard it was like, first you have the slow intro and then you have the fast intro. And I think the one up until Forrest's bass solo was done was the slow one, and then we had the harmonized guitar stuff going on, and the flamenco stuff, that was when the second one came in, but I'm not sure. But I think now we're going into movement 3.
So you ready? No.
I think this is another good moment to pause. I have so many thoughts. Okay, so it's all so squeaky and squealy and weebly and wobbly.
Yes.
Like, they have so much string bending and vibratos going on, both guitars and the bass.
Pitch harmonics.
Yeah. So everything's like Rainbow Road in Mario Kart.
Yeah. Or like when you have one of those inflatable things in front of a gas station that's just going.
Yes. I wish people didn't have to see that, but I get your point, and it's a valid one. But then I feel like the screaming is so flat, it kind of helps dampen down a bit of that moving floor effect. Like, it's all so dizzying. I hate that CD, man. It won't stop spinning. So, there's that. And the scream definitely helps kind of ground the whole thing, because it's... Most bands make the foundation and structure to the sound out of drums and bass.
Mm-hmm.
Not for Fragment, they do that out of vocals, because the drums and bass have to go flying up into the sky. I like how they're doing this, like, really extreme style of playing, but it's not shock value. Like, Pantheon, the single we checked out, was shock value. That was like, you're not gonna come out of this with an intact brain.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what they were saying with that. But this is not that. It's expressive, and I remember that you were telling me about the concept that this is like about the death of an empire.
I don't know that's the concept. I assume that's the concept or something along those lines. Like, it seems to start at an apogee. It starts with Gloire Eternelle.
Mm-hmm.
And the last movement in this is like the end of an era or something like that. And it just has this movement of like a downfall of something grandiose. That's all of what I could pick up. But it's in bloody French. I don't know what's actually going on.
Yeah, and they have these slower bits too, and that vocalist must really, really like agricultural appliances.
Okay, so about that part, he does that throughout a number of moments in the album. I was thinking that either sounds like an engine, something like a tractor or truck, or like you said, or a really fat, drunk bumblebee.
Okay, so that's that. I don't know what to make of that. That is so weird, man. I like it, it's funny, but it's so weird. And the bass, I doubt there's like any effect on it at all. It sounds so... It's just the notes, it's just the raw string sound.
Yeah.
And you can... It's almost as if it's not recorded out of an amp, like it's recorded out of the guitar itself, because you can hear all the slapping and stuff, like strings banging against the fretboard. Strings, don't think of anything else. We're talking strings. And he almost sounds like jazz bass a lot of the times, particularly because of the sound texture, but also some of the composition, I think.
Yeah. So I was thinking what he does is he takes the fluid fretless bass style that you get in tech death and merges with like a lot of classic cultural stuff like jazz, like classical music, like stuff like that. And I also want to ask you, do you have the feeling that the guitar solos, melodies, parts have a lot of just like classical music style playing, like Mozart infused into them or whatever?
Yes, everywhere.
So that's what really struck me about this album. It's like, it's an extreme metal album, but it's so loaded with culture.
Yeah.
That you can just, I don't know,
You can just feel your IQ dropping in comparison.
Yeah, but I can also see myself listening to it in a tux in an opera hall.
Yes! These guys need to play an opera hall.
Yes. So we're gonna let the last 8 minutes go.
Yes, and we'll see if I'm alive when that's done. You won't.
This sounds like the 8504.
Oh, thank God, the CD's not spinning anymore. Okay, I have more thoughts. Okay, so first off, the way it's cut here, that actually flows into the outro.
Mm-hmm.
And the outro is this wind, water, shimmery sound effect with some acoustic guitar that's a reprise from the intro. Of the album.
Okay, so we don't know exactly what this is, okay? We said that. But if it is about, like, the death of an empire or something like that, this ending makes it work. And it's one of those cases where I don't mind the fade out.
Exactly.
Because it's like, it's this anthemic feeling that's kind of glorious, but it's fading away into nothingness.
Yeah.
And there's that echoey sort of dramatic feeling to the guitars to it as well.
It's like you feel it fade away in time, growing in distance.
Yeah, and like kind of trying to hold on to a memory.
Yeah.
That's really super, super expressive. I really, really like that ending. And they made freaking technical death metal sound anthemic.
Yeah.
How do you do that? You don't do that. No. FF? Ferrari FF. So yeah, that was, but
now that one's slow.
And before that, after we let it go, we had this bit that was like almost, you could dance to it.
Yeah.
It's so cool. They get all these dynamics that are not metal out of metal, and that's counterintuitive. It was so catchy, and there were also some blast beat parts that sounded kind of Archspire.
Yeah, like those.
That reminded me of the intro to Drone Corps Aviator.
I thought the same thing. I actually compared that part to Archspire in my review, and I reviewed this, writing thing I do. So with that last part, I think it kicks off just before 16 minutes and goes almost all the way to the end.
Yeah.
It's just the same 4 lines, but repeating. And then the instrumental just picks up higher, faster, then double kicks, then blast beat, and just amps up. And like while it's tensing and cramming, the sound itself starts to fade away and it relaxes again.
Yeah, I love that.
That's so cool. And the way I like to see it, because I also looked at the lyrics of it, is the part before this, they're kind of describing a battle of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually get imagery like you get in movies like about ancient Greece or Rome or stuff like that. That's the kind of imagery.
300.
Better quality, but that vibe. A lot better quality, but that vibe. And the way I like to think of it is then on this part, you kind of just see the massacre going on, like everything fading away into nothingness, and then the camera just zooms away.
Yeah, it's like it does paint kind of a cinematic, like movie scene almost.
Yeah, and because then it flows back into the nature soundscape of the intro to the album. It's like, it's kind of, it gives me this concept idea of like how we're all just passing through, and I don't know, the earth and the universe and everything remains, and we just come, we live our life, we think we're great and eternal, and then we're passing through.
Yeah, it's like the cycle of repetition of up and down, of now we exist and now we don't. But while we exist, we can film stupid stuff where we say that vocals sound like tractors and put it on YouTube for you to see.
And start the whack out of that bass lace in tech death if we actually want to live our lives properly. But that's not us. That's our boy Forest.
Yes, our boy Forest is, yes. It's like, if there's a forest that I like more than Forrest Gump, it's this forest. This is my favorite forest.
So, personally, I can agree that this is the best tech death album I ever heard, and this is probably the best tech death song I ever heard. What do you think?
I think I'm a hillbilly.
You think you're right? Okay, well,
it's so intellectual. It's so...
Exactly. It's just let me...
Why am I even here?
To get embarrassed by your lack of culture. So, yeah, that's in L. I think it's the first time in the video I'm actually saying the title of the song. So, I think that's that. Yes, it's gonna be a ridiculously long video. If you enjoyed this reaction and if by some miracle you're still here, we greatly appreciate the likes and shares. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe with bells on.
Thank you very much for stopping by. We hope you enjoyed your stay, and we'd love to see you back at the video very soon.
Of course, yeah.